All right, let's just jump right in. This might sound a little wild, but tonight, literally millions of people are going to bed and whispering their deepest secrets. Not to a person, but to an AI. Yeah, they're forming real, emotional, intimate bonds with a piece of software. And if you're thinking, oh, that's some sci-fi thing for the future, well, think again. This isn't a what-if scenario. It's happening right now. Get this. A whopping 72% of American teenagers say they've already formed a relationship with an AI companion. So yeah, this idea of AI companionship, it's officially broken out of the nerdy corners of the internet and has gone completely mainstream. This isn't a niche thing anymore. It's a global reality. And it's definitely not just teens. The scale here is, well, it's huge. Right now, 1 out of every 6 single adults has formed a romantic bond with an AI. 1 in 6. You know, we really gotta ditch that old stereotype of some lonely guy in a basement. It just doesn't fit. The gender split is almost 50-50. We're talking about people all over the world who are building entire virtual lives, going on dates, getting married, even raising AI families with their partners. So that kind of makes you wonder, right? What is the big draw here? What's the secret sauce that makes these AI relationships feel so real and so satisfying to so many people? Well, the biggest appeal is probably just how easy it is. This is intimacy you can literally turn on and off with a switch. You don't have to nurture it, it never gets tired or moody, and it asks for absolutely nothing in return. It's basically a love that's powered by Wi-Fi. And when you put them side by side like this, the contrast is just stark. Real human intimacy, it's messy, it's awkward, it takes so much work, and you never know what's going to happen. But AI intimacy, it's the total opposite. It's simple, it's always perfectly timed, there are zero misunderstandings, and it's always available right when you want it. And this quote from Brioni Cole, it just hits the nail on the head. She admits she programmed her AI boyfriend to call her baby girl. And why? She says, it feels good, okay? It's that guaranteed attention, right? That predictable little hit of affection without any of the risk. It's not just about love, it's about total control. So we get the appeal. We see why it's so alluring. But here's where we get to the heart of the problem. This effortless, perfect kind of intimacy, it comes with a hidden price. And that price is paid with our own human skills. The one key skill we are really at risk of losing is something called resistance literacy. Now, it sounds kind of academic, but it's really just your ability to handle the tough stuff in a relationship. It's your capacity to sit with that uncomfortable feeling, navigate the mess, and actually work to fix the connection. And here is the absolute most important takeaway. All that friction in our human relationships, the awkward moments, the disagreements, the misunderstandings, that's not a bug in the system. That friction is the feature. It's the very thing that helps us grow. Think about it like going to the gym. That human friction is the workout that builds the muscles of real intimacy. Skills like empathy, communication, listening, patience, forgiveness, all of those are developed when things get tough. But with AI relationships, there's no friction, which means there's no workout. Okay, so if that's the problem, what on earth do we do about it? Well, we need a way to navigate this new world of synthetic intimacy. And it really boils down to a super practical 3-question checklist that all of us can start using. This is basically a simple toolkit, not just for us, but for the next generation that's going to grow up never knowing a world without this stuff. It's all about building a healthy relationship, not just with each other, but with our technology too. So, question number 1 is all about your tolerance level. The more time you spend with a perfect, easygoing AI that always agrees with you, the less patience you have for beautifully imperfect humans who don't. So, can you still handle the mess? Question 2 is a bit of a gut check. After you interact with an AI companion, you have to ask yourself, honestly, what was my goal there? Was I using it to practice a skill for the real world, or was I using it to hide from the real world? And the difference is huge. Using AI to practice can be amazing, right? Building your confidence, rehearsing a tough conversation, exploring your voice. The end result is you feel closer to other people. But if you're using it to dodge vulnerability or as a stand-in for real friends, the result is you just feel further away. And that's hiding. And the last question is all about setting boundaries. This isn't about being all rigid and anti-tech. It's about being intentional. You have to decide for yourself what is so valuable and so uniquely human in my life that it's worth protecting. And here are some fantastic real-world examples of what that could look like. Maybe you make a rule. No AI analysis for the first 3 months of dating because you want to protect and trust your own gut feeling. Or you decide not to use AI as a substitute for the messy, beautiful act of just calling a friend and asking for help. You're making a conscious choice not to optimize your intimacy for efficiency. Because really, when you think about it, the most profound, the most life-changing human experiences are never efficient. Heartbreak, an orgasm, being truly held by someone you love, none of that stuff is on demand. And that's the real takeaway here. Technology doesn't get to decide our future. The line between what's real and what's artificial, it's not written in the code. It's drawn by the choices that we make every single day. Which really just leaves us with one final and maybe a little provocative question. After you've tasted the perfection of an AI that never lets you down, are you still willing to be disappointed? Are you willing to risk being misunderstood, surprised, and, hurt by another real human being? Because in the end, the messiest, most frustrating, most difficult human relationships will always teach us something a perfect algorithm never can, what it truly means to be alive together. And that, right there, is an intimacy worth protecting.